Russia's shadow fleet has been in the news quite a lot lately, especially in Estonia, as the Baltic nation's naval forces approached a tanker believed to be part of this fleet. For today's video, we try to explain what this shadow fleet is all about and go over the recent events connected with Estonia. First off, let's explain the Russian shadow fleet. While the term may sound like it refers to some special operations naval force, the Russian shadow fleet is more a collection of unregulated vessels operating in defiance of Western sanctions. As explained by Reuters, Western sanctions imposed on Russia aimed at cutting its oil revenues have not stopped the flow of Russian crude oil to willing customers. Instead, tankers of the shadow fleet quietly continue transporting oil to buyers, all without the normal procedures and requirements that most ships follow as part of international maritime norms. It's been said that China and India are the largest customers of Russian crude. Due to Western sanctions, Russia sells its oil at a lower price, a price which certain countries are happy to take advantage of. The Guardian reports that the shadow fleet carries as much as 85% of Russia's oil exports, thus funding roughly a third of Russia's budget. The shadow fleet consists of hundreds of aging tankers which typically have opaque ownership structures and sail without top-tier Western insurance or safety certification cover. Reuters adds that these ships often have unknown insurers or assessors of vessel seaworthiness. The lack of clear regulation and oversight raises concerns about maintenance, environmental risks, and safety standards. Additionally, it's believed that these vessels have fake identification numbers, spoofed location data, and have a tendency to use flag countries with lower oversight. Take a look at the map, particularly in the Baltic region, and you can see why shadow fleet tankers are an issue in this corner of the world. Many tankers sail from Russia through the Gulf of Finland through the Baltic Sea, carrying crude oil in their tanks. While the transport of sanctioned oil in itself is not necessarily a security risk, the operation of old vessels with unclear maintenance records certainly poses an environmental risk. Additionally, these shadow fleet vessels could strategically drop their anchors in the Gulf of Finland in order to try and sever critical infrastructure linking Finland and Estonia. Estonian public broadcaster ERR noted a gas pipeline, an electricity cable, and several communications cables have been severed by ships' anchors in the last year and a half. And so when a suspected shadow fleet ship nears Finnish or Estonian waters, naval forces are definitely on alert. This leads us to the more current events section of our video: why Russia's shadow fleet is currently a hot topic in Estonia and the broader region. Well, it all took place on May 13th when the Estonian Navy spotted a tanker named Jaguar in Estonia's economic waters in the Baltic Sea. The ship was operating under the flag of Gabon, but this was removed on May 10th. Thus, it was operating without a flag. The intention of Estonian forces was to direct it to anchorage to check the flag and insurance, things that have to be done at sea. The naval ship attempted to stop the ship, but the crew of the tanker refused to comply. Eventually, the vessel left Estonian economic waters, although other reports state that the Navy escorted it out. The operation involved an Estonian Navy patrol vessel, a helicopter, and an aircraft. More specifically, the ship was the EML Raju, P-6732. ERR also specified that an Estonian A-139 helicopter and an M28 Skytruck plane circled near the vessel. An X-account by the name of @CaptainNavy shared a video that seems to have been recorded from the bridge of the tanker. Here's a bit more of the video for you to watch.
This is Estonian warship Papa 6732. Your request will be denied. Follow my instructions. Alter your course to 105 immediately. Over.
Yes.
Yes. Mic.
वो हमारे जस्ट ऊपर अभी सामने से हमारे ऊपर आ रहा है.
Estonia's Minister of Defense said that the aircraft were involved to signal that the situation was being taken seriously and actively addressed, adding, "To avoid any threat to Estonia's underwater infrastructure, the ship was escorted out of Estonian waters to Russian waters." On the same evening as the incident, a Russian fighter jet breached Estonia's airspace. Estonia's foreign minister was quoted by Reuters as saying, "The Russian Federation sent a fighter jet to check the situation, and this fighter jet violated NATO territory for close to 1 minute. The Russian fighter jet was reported to be an Su-35, which approached the tanker and circled it, flying in international airspace except when it violated Estonian airspace briefly on approach. According to ERR, the incident marked the first time Russia has so openly backed a Shadow Fleet vessel. Responding to the presence of the Russian jet, Portuguese Air Force F-16 fighter jets operating as part of the NATO Baltic air policing mission responded to the incident and conducted a reconnaissance flight. Reports state that the patrol ship was attempting to stop the tanker and board it. The Navy's attempt and subsequent inability to stop the ship has come under criticism. Critics say that this incident highlights the fact that Estonia's Navy doesn't have the kinds of equipped armed vessels needed to carry out a forced operation. A former longtime commander of the Estonian Navy told ERR that there had indeed been plans to board the Jaguar, but the operation was called off midway. This individual goes on saying, "It was deemed either unfeasible or unreasonable. Compared to the last time when we succeeded in guiding a tanker to anchor in our waters, this didn't go nearly as well. And had this been merely an escort, then the Raju shouldn't have carried out such maneuvers." Lithuania's foreign minister has called for the Russian Shadow Fleet to have restricted access to the Baltic Sea. Meanwhile, EU's foreign ministers have collectively called for increased efforts to stop the fleet and impose more sanctions. What do you think should be done to address this highly sensitive issue? Let us know by leaving a comment.